from the WDSU I-Team tonight. An elected official in Jefferson Parish has some questions to answer about a loan for tens of thousands of dollars. A loan taken out not in his own name, but that of the public office he holds. It's a matter the WDSU I-Team has been looking into, and now we aren't the only ones. I-Team reporter Travis Mackel live at 6 with the steps one local bank has already taken and what happened after we started to ask questions. Travis?
Scott, a lawyer representing this elected official, says after we found a discrepancy on the financial disclosure form from his office, they'll take action. But the head of the state association indicates to us that it may be too late, as other government entities are already sniffing around. At the Second Justice of the Peace Court in Marrero, inside the old Jefferson Parish Emergency Operations Building, Patrick Hale DeJean holds court. Small claims court, handling cases with a total value of less than $5,000, performing marriage ceremonies, and so on. And while he oversees hundreds of matters each year, he now finds himself in a legal bind of his own. This lawsuit, obtained by the WDSU I-Team, names Patrick DeJean as the defendant, and it's not filed by any one person. He's being sued by First Bank and Trust of New Orleans. The lawsuit alleges DeJean took out 3 separate loans in 2012 and 2013, totaling almost $53,000, money the bank once repaid immediately. The reason for the lawsuit: the bank now questions whether DeJean had the right to borrow money on behalf of the court. We went to DeJean's courtroom looking for answers. We were turned away and told his lawyer will be handling all questions.
Really, to get the office up and running, and then to see to it that they had money when they get those low spots.
The lawsuit was filed in December, and while it's an open case, DeJean's attorney, Pat Fanning, says his client hopes to repay the bank as soon as possible.
All of the proceeds went directly to the court and were used for the court's purposes.
But there's another problem. We pulled DeJean's financial disclosure forms, which are submitted yearly to the Louisiana Legislative Auditor. The money he borrowed on behalf of his office doesn't always appear in those records. In 2012, DeJean did report a $15,000 expenditure for equipment, which, we are told, represents the first loan. But there's nothing indicated how that money was spent, or even that the money was used for an official purpose. And it leaves unmentioned the remaining $28,000. That money doesn't show up on the 2012 or 2013 report, which indicates zeros across the board regarding expenditures.
When you called that to my attention, I told him about it, and he intends to file an amended financial disclosure form, but he was never trying to conceal it or anything.
The head of the Metropolitan Crime Commission says the whole incident seems out of sort. He questions why DeJean had to take out the loans in the first place, and, like others we spoke with, Raphael Goyeneche hasn't heard of a judge securing a loan in the name of his court.
The state constitution has a provision that appears to prohibit governmental entities from donating, loaning, or pledging public assets.
In Louisiana, justices of the peace keep the filing fees from their courts. They split them with their assigned constable, and both use that money to fund their respective offices. Records show DeJean's court collected $178,000 last year, and DeJean himself kept more than $87,000 of that as salary. Goyeneche says that appears to be more than enough to fund his operation in Marrero.
There's more unanswered questions than there are answers there.
The head of the state's constable and Justice of the Peace Association tells us she and the group she heads up were unaware of the loans DeJean took out and the lawsuit filed against him until just this week. She says she notified the Louisiana Attorney General and has been told the Jefferson Parish Inspector General is looking into the matter. Goyeneche says his office has called in the legislative auditor, who he says is in the final stage of an investigation.
You're not on the honor system when you're dealing with a legislative auditor. You're dealing with a quasi-law enforcement agency. that has the ability to determine if public entities are spending their public dollars in a manner that's in conformity with the rules and regulations of the state of Louisiana.
We should also point out that according to parish records and Dejan's old financial filing, he doesn't pay rent at his Marrero office. The parish gives him the space annually. His lawyer did contact us late this afternoon and tells us that Dejan and the bank have worked out an agreement where the lawsuit will be dropped and he will work on a payment plan to repay the loan. At this time, court records still show that the lawsuit stands.